warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Siskawati. I'm from A1 2019 and today I'm going to explain to you about the narrative text. So who knows what is narrative text? Narrative text is a story with complication or problematic events and it tries to find the resolutions to solve the problems. And the purpose of narrative text is to entertain the reader or present a story. Narrative text structure should be easy to remember because the structure follows a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, the next is the structure of narrative text. Generally, a narrative text has four parts. They are orientation, complication, climax, and resolution. Okay, the first one is the orientation. The orientation is considered as the beginning of the introduction of the text. It tells or introduces the reader about the characteristics, the time, the place, and the directions of the story. In other words, this part of narrative text answers the question of who, when, where, what, and why something happens. Who tells about the characters involved in the story. When is the time of the story. Where informs of the place of the story. What and why tells the direction of the story. In the traditional writing genre of narrative, this orientation is called introduction or the beginning of the story. And the second one is complication. The part of narrative text that tells about the problem that is faced by the main character. Complication is the heart of a narrative text. The complication determines whether the text lives or not. If the narrative text is considered as the live text, it will arouse the readers to read it. It will intrude to the emotion of the reader. And the third is climax. The climax is part which gives the readers information of how the problem affects the characters. Robert and E. Jacobs claims that climax is the point of all the rest of the action become firmly set of where the characters react to the complication. And the last is resolution. Resolution is the part which gives the solution of the problems faced by the characters. How the characters finally sort out the complication. It leads to happy or unhappy ending in the story. In short, the resolution is the set of actions bringing the story to its conclusion. And the next, there is linguistic elements of narrative text. Okay, there is three linguistic elements in narrative text. The first one is simple past tense. So what is simple past tense? Simple past tense is a verb tense that is used to talk about things that happened or existed before now or in the past. The form of simple past is subject, verb to, and object. And the second one is direct and indirect speech. Direct speech describes when something is being repeated exactly as it was, usually in between a pair of inverted commas. For example, she told me I will come home by 10 p.m. Okay, you can see the example here, and then we can difference between direct and indirect speech. So indirect speech will still share the same information, but instead of expressing someone's comment or speech by directly repeating them, it involves reporting or describing what was said. An obvious difference is that with indirect speech, you won't use inverted commas. For example, she said to me that she would come home by 10 p.m. And the last, from linguistic elements, there is adverb of time. So what is adverbs of time? Adverbs of time tell us when an action happened, but also for how long and how often. Adverbs of time are invariable. Adverbs that tell us when are usually placed at the end of the sentence. For example, Goldilocks went to the bear's house yesterday. I'm going to my room tomorrow. I saw Sally today. I will call you later. I have to leave now. I saw that movie last year. Okay, that's all about the material that I will explain to you today. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.